Okay, here we are again with part 5 of sculpting Steve Ditko's Spider-Man poster. This is where we left off. We did the eye holes and we did the scribe lines on the shirt over again. So this is where I am. There is a couple of things left to do before we wrap this guy up. We want to put some anatomy in the hands, maybe uh, a little bit more work to the body. Just put a little bit more anatomy work in there. Let's turn on the reference here. Put some of these muscle lines in there. I was debating whether I should put some cross hatching in there to simulate these black lines, but I don't think that would translate. It might, if it's painted right, it might really look cool. I mean, you see this cross hatching right here on the shoulder, on the ink lines right here, this cross hatching. Well, I can probably simulate that by grabbing this brush here called a rake brush. Let's see, that one's kind of cool. Wet rake. I have a bunch of rake brushes. Rake alternative. Just a standard rake brush that comes with ZBrush. Where is that? It should be... I'm not seeing it. RS. Rake. There it is. I could probably simulate those crosshatch lines like this by... Let me select the torso. And let's select black. And why did the legs just turn black? Did I not? Oh, I don't have the color on. Okay. So I've got the rake brush. I've got black selected. I want to turn on material and RGB and Z add. I guess Z add is the... You would think it would be subtract for the rake brush, but I guess it's add. But anyway, I could just cut. Whoa, that's too intense. Let's turn down the intensity. Let's put lazy mouse on, and let's try that again. Something like that, I can go in there and put these cross hatches on to, simulate or emulate the ink work. And it's kind of it's looking kind of sloppy because I don't have enough geometry. So let me go back and put a little bit more geometry onto this. It's only 500. I wonder why. So let's divide a couple more times. 2 million. And you see that it can look pretty cool, actually. If I turn the color off and just look at the gray model, you'll see what it looks like. Oh yeah, it is giving me raised bumps, and I don't want raised bumps. I would want scribed in. So let's turn on subtract, and let's try that again. Let's get a bigger brush. Whoops, gotta select black. Let's get a bigger brush. That's too big. Just having a little trouble here, just bear with me. Like something like this, and you can like make it look like comic book cross hatching. I'd be real careful and do it correctly, but you can actually get it to look like the artwork. And what it would look like in the sculpture, if I turned off the color and just looked at the gray model, it would look like that. You know, it would be actual little indentations in the sculpture itself. You know what I mean? So it could look cool if it was painted right. It would look really cool, and it might look cool as a gray model as well. But I think I'm gonna hold off on that for now, because you got a lot of web lines on this red. Maybe I wouldn't do it so much on the red. But anyway, I was debating that, and I just thought I'd mention it. And it's still a possibility. Maybe I'll just do it pretty subtly and not so heavily. But anyway, this video should be a little bit shorter, maybe not. What I'm going to do here is create this little spider on his chest and the big spider on his back. And I think for those two things, those two elements, I may do a raised pattern, a raised thing, instead of just doing scribe lines like the eye holes. I think I may have an actual raised patch for the spiders. So anyway, let me show you how we do that. I pulled up some reference online that I found of Steve Ditko's spiders. This is the poster. This is the 6-foot door poster. I guess it said your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man at the bottom. So I guess the reference that I'm using, and it has like this darker blue. So I guess this might be the 6-foot one, and the reference that I'm using might be a different poster or a smaller poster. I'm not sure. I was told that there are two versions of the poster. That there's a smaller one, like a 24 by 20, like a square version of it. I was told. I don't know if that's true, but right now I'm just concerned with the spider. It said it was a Ditko costume, but I don't think the spider in the back had a head like that. Maybe he did it sometimes. The consistency is all over the map, but I'm not gonna use that one. That's not so clear. That spider is too fat, and this one has a head on the back. Maybe he did draw that at times, but all the reference that I'm looking at is this. It's just like an oval with 8 little arms like this. So I'm going to go with that one for the back. For the front, I'm just going to go with what's on the poster. This. It's like a body and a head that's almost as big as the body. Let's turn this one around. Tools. Rotate. Vertical. I'm just going to go with this spider right here for the back. Okay, just an oval and 4 legs. So anyway, let's go back here. For the front, now I can draw a mask right on my model and raise the spider patch right out of that mask. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's turn on the reference. Turn on transparency. Preferences, draw, back opacity. Let's make that really see-through. You can see I'm way off on my costume lines, but I think I had to cheat that a little bit. But anyway, let's try to keep the spider lined up right. So I can do this. I can draw it right on the body. Or I can just create it. I could just sculpt it out of spheres. So I think I'm just going to draw it right on the body. So let me hit Control to get my mask pen, turn down my focal shift, get a very small draw size, and let's just do that. Actually, hang on, let me get a mask that is round, and let's see if this works. Okay. Now I can't angle that. Yeah, you know what? Here's another. It's kind of tough to paint it on this chest and keep it symmetrical. And it's showing me where to place it. Well, let's do something different. Let's go, instead of doing it that way, I can just create it out of spheres, but let's do something even better. Let's append a cube. Okay? Select the cube, and let's divide the cube a couple of times. Actually, let's dynamesh the cube way up, and let's get a lot of geometry. No. So we got 31,000 up here. So we dynameshed it all the way up. Let's see what that gives us. It should give me a few million to work with. And I'm going to make these spiders right on this cube as flat decals. And then I will just use a brush that I'll show you, the Matchmaker brush. And it will slap it right on the chest and slap it right on the back. And it will conform to the muscles. So 9 million. That's okay, that it's very high because we're going to delete this cube when we're done with it. So anyway, I'm just gonna make that little spider, just like in the reference. Just kind of eyeballing it right now. Let me turn on my reference. There we go. And I'm not worried about the size either because I could shrink it down. Alright, and then that's it. I just draw the legs, make sure symmetry is turned on. Oh, I should have painted that. Let's get rid of that. I should have painted that right in the middle. Yeah, that's okay. Something like that. Alright, close enough. And I'm just going to paint on these little legs. So 2 come out of the top section. Whoops, I've got the circle turned on. Let's get freehand. There we go. Like that. Another one comes out of the top segment. They look like that one balls up at the end. Oh, 3 of them come out of the top segment. That's weird. And the 4th one comes out right near the top of the abdomen. Something like that. It's going to be so tiny, it really doesn't have to be perfect. Let me go back and do that one over again. I don't like that one. Okay. All right, good enough. Let's do an extraction now. Let me extract that. Let's see how thick that is. When you paint a mask, and you hit extraction, it will just give you a 3D object based on that mask. So there you go. Let's move that to the side. Let's get our cube again, clear this mask, and I'm just going to make, let me get that circle thing again, and I'm going to make the back spider. And again, I'm not worried about the size. And he's got 8 legs that are kind of like that. There's another good one right here. Whoops. There it is. So something like that, or like that. This one's good too. So let me move my reference over to a different monitor so I can see it. Okay. What was I doing? I need a mask brush and I need freehand. And let's just go like this. Lazy Mouse is a little bit too lazy. And let's see, this one comes out here and goes down. And the last one is down here, about approximately. All right, that looks okay to me. Let's do extract. Boom. Did I hit it? There we go. And you have to hit accept right away, because it will go away if you move it without hitting accept. Clear the mask, select the cube, delete the cube. Let me just save just in case I need to do this again. Spidey 24. Okay. And we delete the cube now. All right, so this guy is red. This back spider is red, so let's do fill object. And the little spider is black, so let's do fill object. Now, let's bring our guy back in, and we will try to place these in place. We only need the torso. All right, let's do the back one first. Okay, let's move it back like this. Oh, what are those things? Now, you know what those extra pieces are? That's the mask went all the way through the cube and made something on the back of the cube. It created an extraction. So let's delete that, delete hidden, and let's go to this one and delete hidden. There we go. All right, let's put this spider on his back. As best as we can. just positioning it, just kind of eyeballing it. This is another one of those things where you wish you had symmetry turned on, so you can just put it right at 0 and it would be right in the middle. But we'll just eyeball it. It's okay. So anyway, you can see how the spider is like a disc. It's like a flat object. Whoa. Whoa, I have symmetry on, that's why. It's like a flat object, right? And his back is, all muscled. So you can't just push it right on there. First of all, let's get it the right size. You can't just push it right on there because it'll sink right into his back. So what do we do about that? What is going on here? I lost something. Hang on. Something is fishy right there. I think I screwed up right there. Let me go back. Yeah, there you go. See that? That's what it's supposed to look like. I screwed that up somehow. Wasn't paying attention. Okay, so let's try that again. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a brush called the Matchmaker brush. And the Matchmaker brush you wave it over the object, in this case the spider, the patch, the decal, whatever you want to call it. You wave this brush, Matchmaker brush, over this, and it will bend the object to conform to the object underneath it. In this case, his back muscles. So let's put it as close as we can to his back, like that, and make it as centered as possible. Make sure it's the right angle. So we got 757,000 for this spider. Let me just check the topology on it and see what this looks like before we alter it. Let's see, do I want to Dynamesh this? I think I may want to Dynamesh this just to get it a little higher. I don't know, let's try it. It's got a pretty dense mesh, you can see, because I extracted it from a Dynamesh. So the mesh is pretty dense. Let's see what this looks like if we try to match make it to the back. Okay, I'm just tweaking, just kind of getting the angle I want. Okay, you ready? It's close to the back. We want to put it as close as we can. And then we want to grab a big Matchmaker brush. Let's shrink this down and grab a big Matchmaker brush. We want to make our draw size really big and just go wave it right over that. And you see that? It's just kind of conforming. It even turns the color to blue. I think it's a little too intense. Let's go back. Let me turn off the colors while I do this so it doesn't change my color. The brush size is okay. I think the intensity is all the way up at 100, so let's turn that down to about 50 and try it again. You see how it waves over like a tsunami? It kind of shapes it to the back. I'm going to do it one more time. Now let's try to push it in. Oh, that's a little too much. Maybe not, maybe not. Let's push it in and see what happens. See that? Ooh, that's nice. That's very nice. And you can push it in as deeply as you want to go to show the thickness. And you can push and pull and tweak it a little bit. Let me put this right on the spider and rotate it outward a little bit like that. Ooh, that's nice. That's pretty good. All right, I got to tweak it because the lower legs are in further than the upper legs, but you get the idea. Let me just kind of try to rotate that just a little more. Something like that. Okay, now these legs, you can see these legs are thicker than these legs because it's pushed in more. So let's try to rotate it that way a little bit. There we go. And I think that's as good as we're going to get with the gizmo. I think we're going to just have to zhuzh it with by hand. You know what I mean? Just grab a small move brush and just push and pull things out and push them in as needed, and just try to keep the shape and keep the symmetry as much as we can. But now I'm pretty happy with that. Actually, you know what? It would be better if you just pulled back out instead of trying to move the spider around. Okay, so let's select the torso and just kind of adjust the torso. Just, you know, a hair here and there. Not really changing the anatomy much here. Just kind of tweaking. All right. You know what I mean? So I'm happy. I'm happy with this. Hopefully it retained the color. Let's see. Let's turn our colors on. Yeah, man. Cool. And now let's grab the little spider and make him all black. I don't know why that side didn't turn black. Black. There we go. And let's place him in the center of his chest. Let me just save my work before I crash and lose it all. 5. Okay. Let's get the little spider and let me turn my colors off. Okay, little spider. There we go. Whoa, that's because I have symmetry on, and we don't want symmetry right now. We're not working with symmetry. Okay, so let's shrink it. Try to center it in the middle of his chest, and we're going to do the same thing with the matchmaker brush. We're going to put it as close as we can to the model behind it and angle it so that it's the same distance. You know, the top of the spider and the bottom of the spider are the same distance from the chest. If we can, you know, as close as you can without touching. And let's see, let's just quickly have a look at our reference. Let's turn it on over here. Oh, it's a little higher. Okay, that's good because we got a flatter area on the chest. Less distortion. Let me turn on the reference behind it. Turn off the torso, and let's just see. Turn off the big spider. Alright, we're close. We're very close. A little bit bigger. Alright, something like that. And now we just grab our matchmaker brush, turn the torso back on, turn everything else off, and alright, I guess so. It looks a little off center, but this whole pose is kind of off kilter. Okay, ready? Matchmaker brush. Let's zoom way out so the brush is much bigger. Intensity is a 55. Okay, you ready? And just go like that and wave it over the chest. Wow, you know what happened? The legs were touching. That's what happened. See, it's touching. It's embedded in the chest there. So let's move it outward a little bit. Okay, we're not touching now. Let's try it again. Wave it over. Wave it over again. And that should be good. I think that's going to be good. It kind of distorted the spider a little bit, but yeah, I think that's okay. We might have to redo that one. No, that looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. The left pectoral muscle is bulging more than the right pectoral muscle, so that's why it distorted it. But it looks pretty good to me. Let's turn on our colors. All right, you can see this is all shaggy again. So let's clean that up. Red. Whoa. Red. Fill object. What? What is going on? Red. That color. Material and RGB. Fill object. There we go. And blue. Well, this is black. No. Fill object. Uh-oh. Well, I messed up. Gotta draw it out again. Okay, now I got it. Fill object. Why is that not lighting up? Clear. Draw it out again. For some reason this is not lighting up again. All right. Okay, my resin is coming. That's what that means. What's going on here, guys? Come on. Bring it back. Oh, edit. That's why. Let's try it again, please. There we go. Fill object. Oh my God. It's all the way over there. Having a little technical difficulties here. Let's select the blue and fill object. Okay. So there we go. We got the spiders. And I think that's going to work. That head shape is a little weird. It should be rounder. I'll fix that. But anyway, we got the spiders on there. and all we have left to do is a little bit of anatomy in the muscles, like the arms and legs and stomach area and the back. And then we just add the scribe lines. And the scribe lines are, it's a little tedious, but it's kind of easy to do. We just use the curved tubes and draw them with a lazy mouse, draw them as carefully as possible. And then we do the same thing we did with the scribe lines on the costume. We just punch them out. And there'll be indentations. They'll be scribed in. And it'll be a perfect web line. So anyway, thank you again for looking. Please like and subscribe, and share the link to the playlist if you have a mind to. If you know any Spider-Man fans that might want to see this sculpture come to life. And I guess I will see you in the next chapter, the next episode. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right. Thank you for watching, guys. I will talk to you guys later.